Hello and welcome to GC360. I'm Elliot Payne.
And I'm Meredith Barnes on this edition of GC360. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Just how hard or easy are they to find for college students in Milledgeville? Our reporter takes a look.
Baseball and softball are back, and our sports reporter Nick Landon will tell us all about it, along with his take on Sunday's Super Bowl blackout.
And change has come to Greek life at Georgia College. We'll tell you about that and interview an officer from one of the prominent fraternities on campus.
All this and more on GC360. One of the things we hear a lot around campus is how hard it is in these tough economic times to find a job. Lots of us either want to work, either to help pay for college, or just to have some extra money in our pockets. But is it really so hard to find a job in Milledgeville? We sent reporter Lizzie Miller to find out.
Being a college student who has to keep up with their grades, pay for living expenses, pay for groceries, and maybe even pay for tuition. No one ever said growing up was going to be easy, but GC360 is here to shine a light on how it can be more manageable. Many Georgia college students worry about finding a job, but if you take a deeper look into what the community really has to offer, there might be one waiting for you. I spoke with Mary Roberts at the Career Center to discuss ways to make it easier on students to find future jobs.
My name is Mary Roberts, and I am the director of the University Career Center. We're here to help students with their career preparation, especially getting them ready for what they're going to do when they graduate. And we look at that as a full process. It's not something you just do at the last minute. See, with that process, there are a lot of things along the way. For a freshman coming in, a lot of them, their first interaction with us, this might be coming to us for help as they're looking for part-time jobs, getting ready with their resume, having questions about interviewing. We help students with internships, graduate school, and as they start to look at, okay, what types of jobs am I going to apply for? How am I going to get ready for those?
A great place to check out job opportunities at Georgia College is their website www.gcsujobs.com and at the Georgia College Career Center. Here you are able to look up available jobs and even see an applicant tutorial. Students may not be aware that Georgia College not only offers a great educational experience, but also offers opportunities for jobs for students. If you're looking for an off-campus job, Kentucky Fried Chicken has recently opened on 441 and is hiring 40 new employees. Also, Firehouse Subs is opening soon and will be looking for employees as well. I spoke with Ashley Mativier, a senior here at Georgia College who works at the Den.
I've been working here the last 2 years and I absolutely love it. I love the fact that I get to interact with Georgia College students all day long. I got the job my junior year of college, and I actually found out about the job opening through a friend that works here, and she told me to come out and apply, and I had an interview with my boss John and I got the job and I absolutely love it. I work with great people, and great people come in here and we just have so much fun at work. I rent out video games to some of the students, and sometimes we'll have like big parties, like Super Bowl parties and stuff like that if there's something big on TV. And I help the students with just maintaining the den and make sure it's clean and up to par.
For more information on how to get a student job here at Georgia College, visit www.gcsujobs.com. For GC360, I'm Lizzie Miller.
Last week, we reported about diversity, or lack of it, at Georgia College and our new president's plan to change that. Dr. Steve Dorman has another big issue on his plate, the college's wobbly financial position. He outlined the problem at his State of the University address to the faculty in January.
Once again, to summarize, our state appropriations have decreased over the last 5 years, our tuition and fees have doubled, and our headcount has dropped in the last 2 years, resulting in a loss of revenue. Our ability to collect tuition rests on 3 important programs: Pell Grants, Hope Scholarships, and federal student loans. And these programs are likely to change over the course of the next few years. Specifically,
Dr. Dorman outlined a plan to counter that potentially dire set of circumstances.
we'll need to examine the cost and revenues associated with our academic programs and services. We'll need to examine the current financial model, including the annual school year budget distribution and summer school. We'll need to find efficiencies in non-academic programs and through shared services. And we'll need to create business plans for our academic programs, centers, and museums. And finally, we will conduct a prioritization of our academic programs and services.
It sounds like some tough decisions are ahead for the university. We'll all be watching.
You may have noticed some intriguing signs around campus. They call for people to participate in something called the Plenum. It's the brainchild of Georgia College of Philosophy and Creative Writing major Michael Russell. He says it's a new opportunity for students and members of the Milledgeville community. Russell's ambition is to bring the whole community together.
Completely open forum.
The Plenum is set to take place in the Maxwell Student Union.
The Plenum concerns itself with anything that is political, and I choose to define political as anything that hinders or helps the life of the community. What I think.
The Plenum is set to take place in the Maxwell Student Union Lounge just as we're recording this broadcast. We'll tell you all about it next week. A university email went out this morning about an attempted armed robbery that took place near the Georgia College campus. The suspect entered a house near campus and fired a gun before fleeing in a dark-colored car. Authorities say there were 5 victims. 4 are GC students. It happened shortly after midnight. Nobody was hurt, and authorities are looking for the suspect. The incident raises the question, how safe is our campus? Reporter Tristan Harrison takes a look.
It's been said that Georgia College is one of the safest campuses, if not the safest, in Georgia. We wanted to talk to the campus police here to find out how much crime really does go on and if this is true or not. Hi, I'm here with Sergeant Michael Baker to talk about crime on campus and around the Milledgeville area. So, it's reported that Georgia College is one of the safest campuses, if not the safest, in the nation. Is this true, or is Georgia College really a safe campus?
Statistically, we are a safe campus. In 2011, we received the distinction of being the safest campus in the state of Georgia. We take pride in what we do, and we're honored that we were able to hold that position. But, it comes and goes from year to year because, crime does fluctuate. We're not immune to crime, so unfortunately, it does happen. The most common type of crime around the campus area is property-type crimes. Thankfully, we do not have a whole lot of person-on-person crime, but most of the time, the reports that we get and investigate are stolen property, theft of computers and cell phones and bicycles and things of that nature.
When we spoke with Sergeant Baker, he said the best way to avoid being a victim of crime was to take personal precautions. Lock up your personal belongings and your car, and never go alone at night, but use the buddy system. And most importantly, lock up your bikes.
On top of, keeping your property secure, but also like to stress to everyone to be aware of their surroundings and to report any suspicious activity. We'd rather have you report what you feel is suspicious and we later determine it is nothing than rather you not report it and it end up being something. Our primary phone number emergency line is 478-445-4400. They can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When students are gone away from campus during the summer or the holiday breaks, we're still here, so they can always get in contact with us that way. They can also come by our office in Miller Hall. We're on the corner of Wayne and Montgomery Streets to report any crime to us or to file a report if they would like to.
Every 3 years, Georgia College publishes a report on campus safety, like this one right here. They'll be conducting further research and publishing a new report in the coming October. So stay tuned to see if Georgia College really is the safest college campus. Reporting for GC360, I'm Tristan Harrison.
A story of chaos in the classroom, racial animosity, culture clash. The French film The Class had it all, and if you attended the first Friday event on the Georgia College campus, you took it all in. The film followed a high school teacher and his class in one of France's toughest schools. Many of the students trace their roots to the former French colonies. The film shows how the French educational system fails them in many ways. The First Friday film series is a monthly meeting of students and teachers who view a selected foreign film. Following the viewing, students and teachers discuss the film's message.
When we return, baseball and football, all on GC360. Sports reporter Nick Lannon will give us a rundown on how all the GC teams fared in this last week, and he'll discuss the not-so-bright lights at the Super Bowl.
Welcome back to GC360. We are now joined by our sports correspondent, Nick Landon, to give us a rundown on what happened this week. What do you have for us, Nick?
Thanks, guys. Well, Elliot, we can't talk sports without talking about the biggest event of the year, the Super Bowl. Sorry, what was I'm sorry. We seem to be having a slight power outage here. Stay with us, and we will have that restored shortly. That's better. There we go, much better. It was an exciting night in New Orleans as the Baltimore Ravens came out on top over the San Francisco 49ers, 34-31. A tough defeat for Niners fans everywhere. Luckily for us, we're Bobcats, and it's a great day to be one. Not a single loss on the record this weekend, and our softball team got off to a great start, winning all 4 of their games this weekend in back-to-back doubleheaders Saturday and Sunday over Lincoln Memorial and Queens College to start the season 4-0. Men's tennis managed to shut out Morehouse 9-0 in the first match of the season, winning every single set last Friday. And then the Bobcats went on to get the W over Valdosta State this past Wednesday. Women's basketball had a good weekend here too, managing to trump the Columbus State Cougars 71-67, jumping into the 3rd place spot in the Peach Belt West. Men's basketball had similar luck against Columbus State, knocking the Cougars 59-51. But it doesn't look like that'll be enough to put the Bobcats in the running to play for a conference championship this year. The Georgia College baseball team started off their season last weekend with a sweep of the Mars Hill Lions to get off on the right foot. We've got a recap on the first game of the series for you guys right here. Let's go to the highlight. The Georgia College baseball team opened their season this weekend hosting the Mars Hill Lions. The Bobcats finished last season with 29 wins and 21 losses overall, going 19-10 in conference play. Now to the top of the first, Tommy Scala for the Lions at the plate sends a deep shot to right field, well over Ikeke Anderson's head. Let's lead off double to get things started for the Lions early here at John Kurtz Field. Next batter, Philip Carroll, a hard single in the gap to the left, and that'll send Tommy Scala coming around third. He beats the throw, and the Lions take an early 1-run lead. Now the Bobcats at the plate after a leadoff walk from Daniel Bick. Ryan Savalaski singles to right, and that'll advance Bick to third. A walk and a stolen base later, the Bobcats have the bases loaded for Cody Moss, and the Peach Belt Conference honoree sends a deep shot to right field. It's going to be caught in foul territory here for the out, but the sacrifice fly will score the Bobcats' first run, and we're all tied up at 1. Now Clay Ardeeser with a runner on third, flies to shallow center, but that'll be just enough to send Savalaski tagging from third. The throw home is not in time, and that gives the Bobcats their first lead of the day. Next batter, Jeremy Donaldson lines one to the gap, and left fielder Tom Timmerman can't make the diving catch. That gives the Bobcats runners on first and third. Next batter here, Ikeke Anderson grounds out to third to end the inning, but not before the Bobcats take a 2-1 lead. We go to the bottom of the fourth, Bobcats leading 4-2. Daniel Bick with a leadoff single up the middle to get things started. Man, did he have a big day. Next at bat, Bick's going to go ahead and steal second. The throw is not in time, broken up. The Bobcats have a runner in scoring position. Now Mikey Moore up to bat. He sends a slow roller to third for the out, but Bick will advance from second. Next batter, Cody Moss fires a hard shot to short, and Evan Rogers can't make the play. That'll score Bick from third and give the Bobcats a 5-2 lead. Now we go to the top of the fifth. Philip Carroll at the plate. He sends one to the gap, and Savalaski with a diving stop. They cannot get the out. The Lions now have the bases loaded. Next batter, Tommy Timmerman sends a shallow fly to center, and that'll just barely drop in for a single. That scores a run for the Lions. It is now 5-3 Bobcats. Dalton Eisenbath at the plate. He also flies to shallow center, and this one will drop in for a no! Huge diving catch by Mikey Moore saves at least 1 run, and to top it off, he's going to go to third for the double play. Now Lions head coach Aaron Rembert's going to come out here to dispute the call, thinking his runner had tagged off before coming home, but the call stands and play will continue. Next batter, Tyler Schuler. He grounds out to third to end the inning, and the Bobcats field their way out of a potential jam. Now the bottom of the fifth, bases loaded for Daniel Bick here. He sends a towering shot to the left field warning track. That's a stand-up double, and it'll clear the bases, giving the Bobcats an 8-4 lead. That's Bick's second hit of the game, going 2 for 5 with 3 runs and 3 RBIs on the day. 2 batters later, with runners on first and third, here's Cody Moss, and he'll single to right. That'll easily score Bick from third. Mikey Moore coming all the way from first base. Here's rounding third and heading home. He beats the throw from center field, giving the Bobcats a 6-run lead. Those 5 runs in the 5th inning for the Bobcats will give them a lead they'd never relinquish. Now to the bottom of the 9th, the Lions trying to stage one last rally here, but it won't be enough. Zach Bumgardner grounds out to end the inning and the game. Bobcats open their season with an impressive 13-7 win. That's all I have for you this week, guys. Be sure to check in every week to get your ins and outs for GC sports and other major sports news you may want to know. I'm Nick Landon with GC360. Back to you, Elliot.
Michael Murphy, professional artist and professor here at Georgia College, is known for his use of layers and perspective. He creates iconic sculptures that appear abstract from many angles, but when viewed straight on, reveal a flattened image of a character or object. Murphy's impressive work caught the eye of Time magazine. He was commissioned in 2012 to create an image for the cover of the Person of the Year issue. Because of the school shootings in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, a more somber portrait of Obama was chosen in its place. Murphy's sculpture is a more colorful piece that would not have properly reflected the tragedy preceding the publishing of Time magazine. It was a privilege to sit down with Michael Murphy to find out more on the story.
They sent me an email or called me, I forget, and asked me if I would do the cover for the next issue of Time, and I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. You know, what is it? And they said, well, we can't say what it is, but we want you to make a portrait of Barack Obama. And I'm like, okay, the only mystery at Time magazine is the Person of the Year issue. And they're calling me and asking me if they can commission me to do a cover, and they want a picture of Obama. I'm like, okay, so Obama's the Person of the Year. You can't tell anybody, but he's the Person of the Year. Okay. So I started making, they said they wanted something that was red, white, and blue to show the electoral divide. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, they want another Shepard Fairey image, you know, like, that's not what I do. I don't make posters, you know, and I don't want to do that. I don't want it to look anything like his. So I started making all these different works and incorporating red and blue in it to show the electoral divide, which I didn't think was really the right way to go about depicting Obama, but they felt like it was at the time. So I started making all these different sculptures and portraits of Obama, incorporating red, white, and blue in various ways. And it just kind of wasn't working out. You know, I kept sending them the images. They're like, oh yeah, it's great, you know, but they weren't like, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, they weren't going crazy over it, which is what I was waiting for. And I'm like, that's not the right reaction, you know. And then finally, 4 days before it was due, I sent him an image, and the guy responded. He's like, this is unbelievable. This is incredible. This is amazing. You're blowing my mind. And I was like, that's exactly what I've been waiting for, you know. So I went ahead and finished that work and got it to him the night before it was due. The night that it was due, and they said, well, okay, we got it, it's fantastic. Tune into the Today Show tomorrow at 7 a.m. and you'll find out whether or not we used your image. And I'm like, you're kidding me. So I'm sitting there at a gas station, because I don't have a TV. Sitting there at the gas station eating this really crappy sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and watching the Today Show, and he holds it up, and it's just not my work. But I understand if they can't go in that direction, because they're in this business where they've got to make these decisions, and they got to make them on the fly, and they have to do what's right, you know. And sometimes people's feelings will get hurt, promises might get broken, and I understand that's okay.
Murphy has plans of continuing as an artist after his final semester here at Georgia College this spring of year 2013.
I'm not actually where I want to be with my career yet. Like, public art is a niche that I want to be tapped into, and I kind of want to dominate it, you know, because there's really not very many people applying for public art projects, and there's millions and millions of dollars every year in the United States for public art projects. And there's usually like 20 people who apply for these projects, and they have budgets of like $500,000, $250,000. So that's kind of what I've been literally spending the last 18 years just preparing myself and building up my resume to get into that market and really be like this kind of go-to person in that field.
Although Time did not feature Murphy's work on the cover, they created a 360-degree interactive object viewable on an iPad. Murphy's work can be seen inside the magazine as well as online at mmike.com.
A new Greek life coordinator committed himself to the Georgia College community this past fall. With Fraternity Rush and pledging just beginning last week, Georgia College will finally get a realistic view of how Greek life will change under his new leadership. Megan Rochester has our report.
This past week was very busy for Greek life fraternities. Potential new members were gathered and shuttled to fraternity house tours and dinners where they met with brothers from every chapter. At the end of the week, Rushies picked up and signed for their bids, stating which fraternity they pledged to. The hectic week was mediated by the Interfraternity Council, or better known as the IFC.
Congratulations, Chris, on a successful Rush Week.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all taking the time to sit here and talk to me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us exactly what it is that you do on the IFC board from week to week?
Okay, on a week-to-week basis, we basically regulate the way the fraternities here govern themselves and are prominent on campus. We simply make sure everyone's following the rules and striving towards academic excellence as well as fraternal excellence, and most importantly, being involved in community services in those regards.
And how busy were you during Rush Week this week?
It was completely stressful. It was very busy process. A month into it, we were totally behind the 8 ball. Nobody really knew about Rush. We didn't have any of the rooms reserved, nor any of the kids signed up. So it was a pretty valiant effort to get everybody signed up, market the idea, and convince these kids to join a secret society here on campus.
So you work well together then with all the fraternities being different and their stereotypes?
Oh, absolutely. Fraternities here on campus are very different. They bring their own sort of regard to Greek life here. But it's definitely easy working with these guys. They're great guys, high caliber men, very easy to work with, very helpful in our regards.
I think for the fraternity and sorority community, one of the major goals that I have is letting the campus community know about us. And when I say that, I mean in print and what our students are doing, as well as being able to work with different offices, knowing who our students are, so that if there are some good things happening in the academic world, the academic people can see, oh, there's a number of students in this class that are of this chapter, and they see that they're doing very well. Or if there are things that could be hindering the fraternity and sorority students, that perhaps an office like the counseling center can say, hey, we're seeing a trend in this type of organization. If you have the opportunity, can you reach out? Can we intervene? Things like that, and assist those chapters in whatever things that we may not have had the ability to do before.
For more information on Greek life at Georgia College, be sure to stop by the Greek Life office on the 3rd floor of Magnolia Ballroom, or visit their website at www.gcsu.edu/studentlife/GreekJoin. Reporting for GC360, I'm Megan Rochester.
Let's go more in depth on this story. For that, I'm joined by Justin Peacock, Vice President of the Delta Sigma Phi fraternity here on Georgia College's campus. Welcome, Justin.
Hi, Elliot. Thanks for having me, man.
It's no problem at all. So how long have you been involved with Greek life?
I've been involved in the Greek life community with Delta Sig for probably 2 years now.
An experienced man. I like that. So tell me, what major changes did Tyler Havens bring to the recruitment process?
Tyler Havens brought a lot to the recruitment process. Not only the recruitment process, but also fraternity and Greek life in general has changed a lot under Tyler Havens. The rush and formal rush this spring, we usually did all the house tours in 2 days, the 6 fraternity houses, and he broke it down into 1 day of all 6 houses in a tour. So it was a little more chaotic getting to meet all these young freshmen and gentlemen trying to join the Greek community. So it was a big change. It was a big change.
So do you think that the future of Greek life at Georgia College is good?
I do. I believe it is in safer hands. It's a little bit more difficult, but they're in good hands.
All right. Well, Justin, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me.
When we return, we give you the rundown on a new smartphone application that has people one click away from love. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we turn to the entertainment and lifestyle portion of the show with our entertainment reporter, Carolina Classens. What's the news, Carolina?
What would a school year be without a hot new phone app or two? Right now, Tinder is one of those apps. Hot or not, let reporter Jennifer Jensen help you decide.
Here at Georgia College, there are hundreds of students with iPhones and Androids. With these phones come countless applications which can be used for a variety of resources, including some with controversial purposes. One app that's causing quite the stir on campus is called Tinder.
Tinder, the app which allows you to find singles in your area. Similar to the Hot or Not model, Tinder shows users a variety of people within a 50-mile radius. It matches people based on your Facebook profile, including your interests and common friends. Here's how it works. Tinder first requires you to sign up to your Facebook account. This is done to prevent people from using fake pictures and information. Not to worry though, Tinder will not post to your Facebook profile at any time. After creating a profile with Tinder, it will show you a person in your area who has similar interests and mutual friends. If you're interested in the other person, you can like them. If not, you can pass on to the next person. If the interest is mutual, you are then allowed to connect with the person via chat. Users cannot message each other unless there's a reciprocated interest.
The same company which produced Match.com created Tinder back in October. It was created to remove the creepiness of online dating for college-age students. It was piloted on several college campuses with progressive results. Within the first 2 months, Tinder served over 1 million matches. In a mobile generation age, we see the new face of online dating. For more information on where you can find this app, visit our website at GC360news.com. For GC360, I'm Jennifer Jensen.
That's all I have for you this week, guys. But be sure to check back with me next week for all your entertainment updates. Back to you, Elliot.
That's all the time we have for you this week. Be sure to check out our website at www.gc360news.com.
Or look us up on Facebook and Twitter at GC360 News. I'm Meredith Barnes.
And I'm Elliot Payne. We'll see you next week.